as I get older, hopefully I understand human nature and humanity a little bit more, and just the primal side of what we actually are and why we're here, and I have to accept that. It's just what we are, and you know, you just make the best of it. You just keep doing the best you can, and hopefully the good will gravitate and pick up what they need from it. It's not a hey, take my shit. That doesn't work either.
No,
not in my opinion anyway.
No, you need to know how to defend yourself these days, for sure.
Yeah.
And as a woman, I can definitely say it's important to know how to defend yourself and to have that confidence.
As a child, anybody. I mean, look at the times. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's the internet that's making it readily and more available, or maybe it's the fact that we're a lot more people on the planet than we were 10, 15, 20, 50 years ago. But there's random stabbings, the knockout game, the people. I mean, it's not, hey man, give me your money anymore. It's like for nothing. You just walk by.
I just see shapes, right? He's leaning like that, and somebody back here is kind of shifting, and their arms are doing that. But I'm looking at you. Yeah. Now he's moving over there. He's moving the blood. Knees are doing that, and I'm still looking at you. That's what I mean by diffuse your vision. But you're looking around general scope areas around the chest area as you're talking, because if I'm going to throw anything at you, this here is going to move first. Your hands remain up here strictly because this is your center line, and this is where you're going to be attacked. It's either going to come through, around, under, super under, over, but it's all going to go towards your center line. They're going to be attacking this.
So yeah, everybody, anybody, I think it's really gotten to the point where if you're not learning self-defense, if you don't raise your children learning those skills, I mean, it's really like a fire alarm, like insurance. I mean, it's something that is an absolute necessity in this day and age. You can't be shocked anymore I'm not shocked any longer when I hear, oh, this kid was, a 3-year-old just recently, I heard this nasty story. And yeah, it happens, man. I've been doing this for 25 years. The horrors I've seen, and it's made me cynical. It's made me really, it's hard. It's not an easy job, man.
Yeah.
Just the self-defense part of it. It's horrible to a certain degree because it's out there. I wish my job didn't exist, to be honest, but it does.
I'm sorry that you feel this way. I'm thinking that we can work this out.
No, there's nothing to work out. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm sorry. Let's go and handle it. Take it outside.
You don't feel mean enough. No, you're not. You're not mean, and I don't believe you.
So hey, how are you? My name is Joanna Ruckenstein, and I'm working as a motivational coach here in Montreal, Canada. And today I'm here with Richard Dimitri, who is the founder of Senshido. And just as an introduction, I started Senshido when I was 28 years old, when I just needed some change in my life and when I needed to get in shape. And the day I went in there, he came up to me and made me feel completely comfortable, shook my hand, like a real good handshake, and I just decided to take up Senshido, this crazy self-defense where people were out with knives and sticks, and I was like, okay, I got to get to know more of this. Definitely became more confident, and so I stuck with it for 5 years, and now Richard's back in Montreal, and we're working out of Arrow Academy in LaSalle, Montreal.
Now called A1A.
A1A.
Yeah, I would sacrifice power in order to be able to reach my target, because all the power in the world, if you can't land it, amounts to nothing. It's fucking useless. Ideally, you want to hit the person when they're least expecting it. You're almost literally, you want to set up a sucker punch, right? Because that's the smartest thing to do. Avoid the violence as much as possible, and hopefully I'm going to throw one shot and it'll be the last, or 2 or 6 or whatever it's going to take. But I want to maximize, again, the chances of landing my strike. So I'm going to try to do it as non-telegraphically as possible.
So why did you start Senshido originally?
Oh, wow. I had taken many different kinds of self-defense systems, martial arts. I was always interested in what worked, real stuff.
Good.
I was never into the esoteric aspect of it, and I found that a lot of different systems had a lot of great things to offer, but because of my, if you will, real life or street experience at the time, I was working as a bodyguard, undercover security.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I just found, for me, I was finding out what worked and what didn't work in terms of the average human being, not the red-blooded, all-American 20 to 25-year-old Rambo male.
Okay.
Excuse the 80s language. It's where I'm from.
We're 80s people, yeah.
Eyes and throat, that's about all really that's going to debilitate another human being. Anything else, you can still fight. You break a guy's arm, he can still fight. I know a guy who was stabbed 13 times in the gut and the chest. And then he disarmed the other guy with the knife and knocked him out with the butt of his own knife. The guy still survived. So even a knife 13 times isn't as effective as a simple eye gouge, right? Yeah, the guy can still come at you, but he can't see, yeah? So you can have a knife and I'm moving it away, you can find me. So that's a whole different ballgame. Anything else, you break his leg, he can fight, right? You bust their jaw, he can fight. You break the nose, he can fight. You kick him in the balls as hard as you can and send both his testicles to his fucking earlobes, he can still fight. That doesn't stop every single human being.
And so I just decided, well, I need to put something together that's more functional, something that deals with a lot more than just the physical or the technical aspect of self-defense, something that anyone can use. My mother, it was important that my mother can do it. Like that was the criteria. If my mom can't do it, then it's not really self-defense. It becomes fighting. It's something about combat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my mom can't learn combat. Just, you know, knock the guy out with a hook, mom. She's 60, say I'm 7, and arthritis, and had 2 kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So that's pretty much what prompted me to. I never really wanted to. It wasn't a goal to start it. It just happened that way.
Okay.
And then that's how it was kind of born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And so was it you getting into fights growing up and stuff that just made you realize this is what works, this is what not works? Like when I learned Senshido, there was not like, okay, you're going to stand like this and you're going to punch like this. It was like rip the guy's face off kind of thing and, you know, bite him in the throat, you know, things that are like, that you don't have to think, that are instinctual.
A lot more primal.
But if I'm like, hey man, what the fuck's your problem? Whoa, 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 hey, right? Give me a sec to explain myself. So determine what kind of person you're dealing with. Don't challenge the individual. Don't touch me, man. Don't come any closer. If you don't want the person to come any closer, there's ways to tell the individual that in a very human level. Because you get guys who want to start something and they just start doing this, so you end up backing up and the whole fucking situation is you doing this, and it's like, okay, well, you don't have to do that. If he starts walking in at me, right, and I'm like, hey, man, hey, yo, what's up, what's up? Hey, I can hear you, what's up? I can hear you right from here. It's kind of weird, you're coming in my space, but how can I help you? See, he has to stop and go, what, right? And just at that moment, that little confusion is going to give me a lot of information. By keeping my hands up here and saying that, there's nothing he can do to hurt me now. Because if he's going to whine for a punch or attack, whatever he's going to do, I'm at a range where I'll see it. Not just that, I'm looking for it. Because in my head I'm going, that's not normal. So now I'm fucking looking for everything. I'm not just, because I'm ready for the sucker punch, the knife, anything at this point, because now you've entered my space, and I don't fucking know you, and you entered it oddly.
I look at how human beings react, how people, you know, function under stress, and I understood it from, I guess, because I have empathy.
Yeah.
I can sort of feel what other people feel, so it works for me, and sometimes it's shitty, but going elsewhere with that conversation.
Every single problem in your life, no matter when and at what era and whatever, circumstances are always different. The common denominator is always fucking you, right? So there's no, you can't, I'm there every time. So it's always, you have to look at that. It's the same thing in the fight. You're gonna have a great hand as to which way that situation unfolds. You are accountable, a good percentage of it. It's not always in the other person. How you deal with it, how you responded. A slight shift of eyes, of body language can literally alter the situation, because body language is a huge percentage of communication, in the 60% area. Okay, 30% area is tone of voice, and the actual words we use is 10%.
So it was easy to piece together and understand each individual's needs. So it wasn't about the person's moves, it was a person's mindset. It's not the move that wins the fight, it's not a technique, it's not the style, it's not a system, it's not, you know, when people said, hey Rich, you know, I used this and it worked, I'm like, it's not that worked, it's you that made it work.
The style didn't win the fight, the woman won that fight. Okay? She just happened to use that style, and she just happened to have the right mindset. She could have done Taekwondo, Taekwondo never trained, and she would have survived that situation because of her predetermined state of mind, not of what she used. And that's the thing. Even with what I teach, every single person who came up to me, thank you, what you taught me saved us. This has got nothing to do with what I taught you. It's what you did at that moment. I wasn't there. You took the software and the information, you fucking applied it. Right? It's different. You had the sense of spirit and the state of mind to pull it off. Big difference. No style wins a fight. No system wins a fight. No move wins a fight. The individual does, and it's circumstantial based on how it is unfolding at the present moment
you could have gone, because you're this kind of individual, you could have gone and learned Taekwondo and somehow made it work because you had the mindset to survive.
Okay.
Whereas you can take somebody who doesn't have the mindset to survive, and if you don't teach them how to survive or develop that mindset, you can learn all of the ripping in the world and all, it's just, you're not going to be able to pull that out.
Okay.
It won't work. So it's all about that, really. It's all about how you perceive and view. I don't even know if I answered your question. But
No, that's cool. Definitely, whatever you have to say, I totally admire this guy. He's just helped me with confidence like he has no idea, you know?
It's weird to be admired. It's just straight.
No, I get it. Yeah, but what you're doing is you're helping so many people. So that's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's,
as
you
you're
know,
giving back, you're giving back every single day.
I get the testimonials. It's really, it's great. I had recently a man I never met. I never met this guy.
Yeah.
And he just called me out of the blue. He was dying of cancer, and he had like literally days to live. And I don't know this man, and he called me to say thank you for being an inspiration in his life, which was like, I'm like, dude, I've never met you. He's yeah, but what you put out there changed my life, and it would, you know, helped me in so many different ways. And I'm about to go.
That's insane.
And I asked him, I said, are you afraid? He goes, yeah, I'm scared. He goes, I had kind of made peace with a lot of it, but part of it was, and I'm like, I think I'd be if I were in your shoes, you know. It's definitely now that I have a child, but it was like, wow, to hear that. And sure enough, you know, thank you, goodbye, click. 2 days later, 3 days later on Facebook, he's dead. He's gone.
Wow.
It's like, I don't know. That's
surreal, eh?
Yeah, it's very surreal. I don't know. I don't even know how to take that. I don't even know how to handle that. I don't know what to do with that. It's strange.
It's a gift, though. Yeah. What he did for you is a gift, because you gave him a gift. So
or what he did for me, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
I get it.
But there's a lot like that, and you know, over the last 20 years, and I've wanted to quit so many times, and I actually did for 3 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? Every single time, it's really, I don't know if people believe what they believe in, because I'm not much of a believer in anything anymore, where I don't have evidence for. But every single time I've wanted to quit, it's like, boom, I'd get an email or a message or a phone call of, hey, thank you for changing my life.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we need you. We need you. Yeah.
Just leave me alone, man. I just want to get out of this. But yeah. Definitely a hell of a journey, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's not over. I can't, you know, it's if I don't do this, I'm miserable, it turns out.
Yeah, well, you're back here in Canada. You were living in...
Egypt, then Jasper, then Fort McMurray over the last 6 years. Yeah.
But you've kept at it, and yeah, it's just a part of you, and you're back now. You're back in Montreal, where we're all so happy that you're back.
And it looks like I'm here indefinitely.
Wow.
I hate winter.
Yeah.
So
do I. We all hate winter, but you know, we'll figure out something. So I want to just ask you, how can women feel comfortable coming to train Senshido? I remember when I walked into Senshido the first time, I was completely intimidated, and I walked in, and Richard just saw me, and I was by myself, and he walked right over me. He shook my hand. And I just felt that comfort, and I didn't feel that intimidation anymore, like I'm walking into something that I'm going to regret. And then he said, you know, come by next week. That next Monday I was there, and I stayed with it for 5 years, and I met some of the best people I've ever met in my life, so. Yeah, I can't get mad at you. Okay, let me think of something else. Yeah, no, I'm trying, but let me get my bad guy shit on.
That's the real gift for me of this. Of everything we did, it's the people, and it is intimidating. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. There's no choice about it. Look at the subject matter. You're dealing with something that's dealing with your life and your death. I mean, like it or not, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
From what I've seen in my X amount of almost a quarter of a century, if not more, in this industry, is that what's really different about what we do is not so much the material and how we teach, is that, well, what you see is what you get. I don't put on the mask when I teach.
Yes, I can.
I'm talking to you.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No,
okay?
You're not going to talk to me tomorrow, because I'll come knocking at your door. No. Okay.
I hope I didn't hurt you.
And he followed his dream. His dream was to help people to take care of themselves and to protect themselves and be confident. And so that's what he's doing. And that's what I want to show the world, is that when you're doing something that you believe in, it just takes on its own life, you know? And so,
100%.
yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people ask me, hey, I want to teach self-defense for a living, and I ask why, and you get answers like, well, I don't like my job anymore. in my opinion, and this is my opinion, and you can do it at what you want, if you're not born to do this, don't do it. It's gotta be, it's this, you know, this is something that's either done with heart or shouldn't be done at all, and there's way too many people out there doing it for money, for business, for everything except that, hey, this is my passion. And their passion lies in different areas, and they're using that as a method to achieve other things. Well, and it doesn't have to be self-defense, whether you're a boxer or you're a, you know, a ballerina, or you run a restaurant, or you're a chef, or you're a garbage man, if you're passionate about it, you're just going to be the best at it as you can be.
You're definitely right.
It's going to work for you, one way or another. And that's just how I feel. It's been my experience. Of course, that's my limited fucking perception as one human being on Earth. I could be wrong, but... Like
he's good at self-deprecation, yeah. Well, Richard, I want to thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, man. I thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. It really means the world to me. Thanks for taking the time. I mean, wow.
And now we're going to go and
kick some ass.
Kick some ass.